And we are live. Hello, everybody.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome to the 100th episode. Confetti.
Yay! Shh. We should have special effects going
I wish
off in
we
the back.
did.
We don't have that kind of capability. We're not that advanced.
We do have this.
Ooh, well, everything's fine.
Everything's
okay. We're
fine.
gonna burn it all down for the 100th episode.
And this.
Oh my god. I wish I still had access to our media library so I could remove that. That was a mistake.
Never.
I apologize. I'm so sorry for
Never.
uploading that.
All right, let's see. Derek. Joseph, good evening to you. Rodney, good evening
hello.
to you. Michael. Ready for Halloween Horror Nights in Florida? Have fun. David, hello to you. Hi, Blossom. I'm excited for Horror Nights, but I'm excited to watch it through vlogs. That's the extent of my...
You will be experiencing your haunted houses vicariously this year, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
I'll have to borrow someone's VR headset and then
Right.
hope that we can shoot the 360 VR videos during media night.
You know, Matt just posted one from the Carnival Mardi Gras cruise that he just went on. I got to strap on the Quest and check that one out.
Stand in front of a fan and squirt some like sea salt spray. It's already Halloween season. Yeah, it's August.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. It's so funny. I saw people heading into the first Halloween party at Magic Kingdom, dressed up, and I just did a double take at first when I saw them. I was like, "Why are you dressed?" Oh wait, it's Halloween already.
Yeah, it feels weird, and Jeff DePauli, who has been on the show before, he has a weekly column called DePauli on the Parks on the website, and this week's topic was whether or not August is just too early for Halloween. At the parks, at least.
I mean, all of the holidays at this point start way too early and then just bleed into each other.
Yes.
It's kind of like the way that the Epcot food festivals have like spread throughout the year to where you have like 2 days where it's not a festival. Well, it's like now we have like 2 days when we're not celebrating a holiday. We go straight from like Memorial Day to 4th of July to Labor Day to skip Labor Day. We go straight to Halloween and then Christmas.
No Thanksgiving.
No, and it's just a blur.
And then, like, Mardi Gras at Universal lasts, like, 3 months.
Right. It's just, yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we've got, like, 3 weeks in this town where we're not celebrating something.
Yes. Brian, hello to you. Hello from Stratford, New Jersey.
Hey, New Jersey, represent. Where's Stratford? Is that South Jersey? I don't know Stratford.
I've never been to Jersey.
Well, I would say, oh, you have to change that, but really, as a native from New Jersey,
I'm good.
So you're okay. You're right.
Okay.
There are parts of it's the Garden State. There are parts that are lovely, but they're mostly the parts that lead to New York City or Philadelphia. So.
Right. That's on my list for sure. It looks like it's going to be a quiet evening this evening, so let's just get started in 3, 2. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 100. That's 100 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by Destinations with Character Travel. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Seth.
And we're here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Seth, we finally did it.
I can't really take most of the credit. I just, this is a relay race, and I joined very close to the finish line. But you did it for sure.
I honestly don't know where the time went.
It's just flown past.
It really, half of it we spent in a pandemic. So
yeah, that really did make time either accelerate or crawl, depending on your point of view.
I think at times both.
Yeah.
But we've had so much fun, I think, across from, Banks being on the show when we first started and
Who?
going Sorry, who?
I don't know that person.
Is that Mariah Carey? I don't know her. We've had so many guests on the show that have been super interesting and fun to talk to. And I can only hope that it will get even more fun in the future. No, we are not giving away 100 free churros.
You know what? You come and meet me in the park. I'll buy you a churro.
Oh. See,
I'm not buying your admission, but I'll buy you a churro.
You say that, now everyone's going to come find you to get their free churro.
I'll be standing in front of the Velocicoaster, probably.
Yes. Maybe I'll come into town and I'll just, like, supervise.
All right.
Brian says that you've got a deal. We've got quite a bit of news going on this week. But before we get into it, how has your week been?
Oh, thanks for asking. I had a great week. I had a crazy busy week because my drafts for the 2022 editions of the unofficial guides to both Universal Orlando and Walt Disney World were both due this week. So I have been the proverbial typing cat gif all week. But I still did make time to take a quick trip over to Universal and just, for fun, walk around both parks and all of the on-site resorts. That's 8.5 miles if you want to do that loop yourself. It was fun. It's about 100 degrees out, too.
Oh, my God.
But more importantly, my wife and I got a chance to head over to Disney and get a little sample of the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot. Ooh. And got to ride the monorail for the first time in like a year and a half from Epcot over to the Magic Kingdom in order to see the Hall of Presidents with President Biden. So that gave me put a smile on my face this week. So, how was your week?
My week was good. I did some work around the house. We are still dealing with. I know the blizzard was in February, but we're still dealing with it here. So we had some contractors and stuff come by. I did my first shell swap for Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, which involved taking them all apart completely, changing the casing, and then putting them back together.
And also, the purpose of that is?
Aesthetic only.
Okay, that seems like a kind of risky maneuver to take purely for decorative purposes, but sounds like fun.
I watched a video very closely, and they work fine. So
do they drift?
No, they don't.
All right, good.
I checked to be sure. I just had like this old, the neon red pair of Joy-Cons that I never used. So I got like a matcha green colored casing and some white buttons, and I switched them out. It took like 4 hours, but it was fun.
How much money could you have earned in Animal Crossing in those 4 hours, though?
Can I be honest? I don't play Animal Crossing anymore. I'm sorry.
I won't tell on you. I won't tell.
It's okay. They stopped adding substantial updates to it, and I have other stuff I want and need to play right now. I also finished Skyward Sword. Amazing. And I watched the Val Kilmer documentary from A24 last night.
That's on Prime now. That is
so
definitely in our
good.
queue. We fell into a hole called Ted Lasso.
Oh,
we just
I know that one.
We just bought a new Apple product, and I think the best thing about it is that it came with a year's free subscription to Apple TV, which I would never ever have paid for otherwise. But Ted Lasso would be worth the $5 a month.
Everyone on film Twitter says that every episode of Ted Lasso is like a holiday special because it just makes you feel so good.
It's just so wholesome and really, because we just came off of watching Mayor of Easttown, which is the most grim and depressing, tension-causing show you could possibly watch. You just watch the whole thing like and Ted Lasso's has been the perfect antidote to that. So that's what we've been binging.
I haven't watched Mayor of Easttown yet. We've been watching documentary after documentary.
You're gonna want to buy a case of Yingling and have that sitting by while you watch that show.
Oh God! All right. Well, I will be sure to keep that in mind when my time comes. But without any further ado, let's get into the news. First up this week, Fright Fest is coming back to Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey, Seth's neck of the woods.
Yes.
Starting September 10th.
My original home park. And I gotta tell you, when I think of Six Flags Great Adventure and haunted houses, I have bad associations with the haunted castle that burnt down when I was a kid.
Oh, no.
But hopefully their haunted houses now are far safer. And they both do haunted, scary stuff in the evening and also more family-friendly stuff during the day, which I would be able to read right now if my glasses could see the screen from here. I'm gonna take them off. Sorry, folks, new prescription.
Oh, yeah, I know that struggle. The event will return on September 10th and run on weekends and select weekdays through October 31st with family-friendly thrills by day and terrifying fright by night. Yep. With all sorts of offerings for the entire family, though obviously the nighttime offerings are for the older kids.
Mm-hmm. Thing that I thought was interesting is that I guess your regular admission includes decorated areas and the kids attractions and some live shows, but if you want to experience the haunted houses, that is an additional fee.
Yeah, that is definitely not usual. Most of the time these events are entirely an additional fee, or in the case of some of the SeaWorld parks, they're included in the regular daily admission. So, yeah.
I looked at their website and I did not see a pricing structure up there yet. But they're still, if you're interested in working this event, they are having auditions coming up in just the next few days. So they do have that information on their website right now.
Yes, you have to be at least 16 years old to audition, and they will have them in person on August 20th and August 28th, which might be why they don't have pricing up yet, because they're still casting for the event. Right. More info on Fright Fest will be coming in the coming weeks, but excited to see parks besides Disney and Universal get back into the game with Halloween.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the biggest Halloweens ever across the country. And speaking of which, the Haunted Road is coming back.
Yes, and while last year's was distinctly fairy tale themed, this one seems even more messed up in like a very Halloween-y, spooky way. They've decided to take real-life haunted encounters from last year's Haunted Road event and make that the center of the show.
Yeah, so, okay, here's the elephant in the room. The Haunted Road, there are actually two different drive-through haunted houses in the Central Florida area. That happened last year. Both of them are returning this year. The Haunted Road is one, Scream and Stream is the other. That's at the Oviedo Mall this year. Do not confuse the two.
Yeah.
Haunted Road had, let's say, some issues with its first outing. A lot of people compared it to the Fire Festival of haunted attractions. From what I understand, things did improve as the run went on. But let's just say that just because we cover an event in the news here does not necessarily constitute an endorsement.
Yes, I believe we have a disclaimer specifically for such things that says something along the lines of
we're just passing along. We're passing along the information. We're not necessarily advocating. So,
if you are interested in going, the road will be open on select evenings from September 30th through November 7th, and tickets went on sale this past Friday the 13th. But what's interesting about tickets for this event is that they are per person and not per vehicle.
Yeah, you're paying by the carload, I guess, up to the maximum safe occupancy of that car. And that initial fee just gets you. Oh, I'm sorry. It is it yes. It's $15.99 per person for the main experience. But then there's a $79 upgrade that involves the opportunity to then spend more money on food and beverage and do a walkthrough.
Yes.
So yeah, so the pricing system is a little complicated. So you might want to read that website carefully to break down your budget for this.
Yeah, I will say if the drive-through main event is only worth $16, but the additional stuff is worth $80, it better be really good.
Yeah.
So we
so
shall
that's
see. Yeah, I'm sure we will send someone to cover it. But if you're interested, go check that out. More Halloween. This time at Gatorland with Gators,
this one I'll go
Goblins.
to. This one I'll go to cover.
Anything with skunk ape, I support.
Yeah, Gatorland came up with this skunk ape character, this mascot, and they've been using him for special events. He dresses up as Santa for Christmas, and but I think Halloween is really skunk ape's favorite holiday. But he's a little bit of a scaredy skunk ape. So this is a family-friendly Halloween event that's included in the regular park admission, and it's got things like live music and things where kids can hunt for cryptozoological beasts, sort of like a monster museum walkthrough that's not too spooky, just for fun.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
You are encouraged to wear costumes, the kids in the group as well, and I think adults are allowed to also, just nothing too scary or gory because Skunk Ape is a weenie and will get scared.
Yeah, the folks who are doing the events at Gatorland these last couple years have a really great sense of humor, and they've really leaned into the kind of goofy redneck side of Gatorland. They're totally embracing it, and it's a lot of fun. I would say that if you've got little kids, you don't want to spend all the money for the Magic Kingdom Halloween event or a ticket to SeaWorld. This is a great, reasonably priced themed Halloween event to take the little ones to.
Also, I have to say, when I was writing this up, I laughed for a good 10 minutes over Frank and Stein's Ookie Kookie Oktoberfest featuring live music from Polkageist, Gatorland's own undead polka band.
You gotta love it.
I literally sat there and was just like, Polkageist. It just made me think of that movie Polka King with Jack Black.
Yes. I remember that one. Some of Jack Black's finest dramatic work.
I love Jack Black. Can't wait to see coverage from this. It sounds like a lot of fun. I love it. Gatorland has been doing lately, and Skunk Ape I think is one of the best new additions they've added in forever.
Absolutely.
It's so much fun. Super Nintendo World inches ever closer to us over here in the States at Universal Studios Hollywood, and they've officially brought over some merchandise, and not just merchandise left over from Japan. This one has Hollywood branding on it.
Yep, it is coming. They still have not announced an opening date for Super Nintendo World in Hollywood, but you can see construction shots. It's definitely moving forward, and this is a great way to get excited for it. A lot of t-shirts branded around different Mario characters, adorable Mario plush. The only thing I haven't seen is I guess they haven't released any of those interactive wristbands like they have in Japan that will work with the interactive elements around the land.
Mine's over there.
That's coming.
I'm ready. Yeah, I wish I combed through all of these pictures. Friend of the show and contributor Eric O went and took these pictures for us.
Eric.
And I was dying. There's one piece of merchandise from Japan specifically that I want to buy, and it's the Mario Kart bomber jacket. Did you?
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh my gosh, it is so cool. It's got sewn on patches. It's a black, like shiny black silk bomber jacket. It's gorgeous. It's so cool looking. Would make a great park outfit, but they did not bring it over here. They just brought pins.
I'm sure
and
this
stuff.
is just the first wave,
Yes.
and I'm sure there'll be more stuff when the land opens at a date yet to be announced.
Yes. I wonder if they will do a little cafe situation like they did in Japan before Nintendo opened. That would be sweet.
I think there might be some room in City Walk. I know there's some space there that they could possibly use. That would be great.
Get on it, Nintendo and Universal. Please. Speaking of Universal Orlando, that is, they have kicked off, as of today, if you're listening to this, tomorrow, if you're watching this, Passholder Appreciation Days.
I am just very grateful that the Passholder Appreciation Days secret menus do not last long enough for me to have to eat them all to include in the book, because I would gain a lot of weight. They've got a lot of amazing things available all over the park exclusively for annual pass holders, ranging from special donut at Voodoo Donuts to lobster mac and cheese at Lombard's, special drinks at the various hotels. There are other elements of the annual Passholder Appreciation Days, including the ability to do early park admission into the theme parks. But really, it's all about the special food that you can pick up.
Oh yeah, that lobster mac and cheese is calling to me right now. It looks so good.
I mean, to be honest, like I know that cheese and shellfish don't really mix well outside of Beverly Goldberg's recipe book, but yeah, that picture does look pretty good. And I gotta say, Universal's done I think a pretty good job of treating their annual pass holders well, because those annual pass holders have basically kept them in business and brought them back to profitability through the pandemic and the reopening. Disney still hasn't started selling new annual passes in Walt Disney World yet, while you can still renew. But I know quite a few people who let their Disney passes lapse over the last year and have invested in Universal annual passes instead.
Universal was the only Orlando park, SeaWorld I suppose too, but Universal was the annual pass that I bought with my own money the minute I had enough to do it, and it was one of the best pass holding experiences, I think. They do so much for their pass holders and make it very plain how much they are valued, which goes a long way as a consumer to know that you matter. So love this, love that they're still doing this. Wish I could have that lobster mac and cheese.
I'll order it for you and text you a picture.
Be sure to take a lactate beforehand.
Absolutely. Like 3 of them.
Oh my god. Disney After Hours Boo Bash kicked off this week, and our very own Quinn Roseboom went to check it out for us. Have you gotten to do a Boo Bash yet?
No, and honestly, I don't see that it's in the budget for me to spend between $119 and $199 on a 3-hour party.
That's fair.
But I did have a little bit of FOMO looking at his photos on our website.
Yeah, I was a little sad to see that they didn't put the pumpkins out on the parking entrance there.
I also noticed that around the Food and Wine Festival that the kind of decorations that they traditionally have around the park felt a little scaled back. They had stuff, but it didn't seem like they went all out. Yeah.
At least when you're pulling into the Magic Kingdom, parking, you see those pumpkins and you're like, yeah, I'm going to a Halloween party. And this just looks like any old day at Magic Kingdom. But the cast members were all in their trick-or-treat outfits. They had inflatables up saying that it's the After Hours Boo Bash. Kids were in costume. I watched a few vlogs and saw some amazing costumes from that first night. And also, we have to talk about the trick-or-treat bags. Because they feature Muppets Haunted Mansion, which I never expected any merchandise or acknowledgement outside of social media from Disney.
You know what? Since the announcement of that, we haven't heard anything. I'm glad to know it still exists.
They did I think it was Entertainment Weekly, got some exclusive photos, and there's they didn't get this graphic, but it's like Gonzo and Pepe in their suits inside of the mansion. I want to know who Kermit is supposed to be with that mustache.
Oh, maybe he's one of the dueling guys in the portrait in the ballroom.
Maybe, because Piggy is Madame Leota, yeah. And Fozzie Bear is the Hatbox Ghost, which I hope they go all in. I'm probably have my expectations too high for this, but...
And all the Walt Disney World Haunted Mansion fans will be like, who's that?
Who's that guy? They also had minimal but decorations, mostly just like projections in the various lands. They had the pumpkins out on Main Street, at least. They had characters doing distance appearances. Here's a photo of Pooh and Tigger in their costumes outside of Crystal Palace. Wait times were literally single-digit minutes, which was nice. I love this picture that Quinn took on Big Thunder. And no nighttime entertainment as far as I know, other than the
cavalcades,
yes.
But no actual full-on parade. Yeah. And no fireworks. I believe the cavalcade's pretty much what we got for free during the daytime last Halloween. So, I mean, it depends on how much candy you can eat. If you can eat $119 worth of candy, maybe this is a good deal for you. Low wait times for the e-ticket rides are always great, but we've actually been seeing really low wait times during the day the last week or so in the parks. Kids went back to school in Orange County, most of Central Florida, this week. I don't know why in Florida we decided to send kids back to school so crazy early, but it means that crowds in the parks have dropped noticeably. So, you might not have a 5-minute wait, but you'll probably have a 10 or 15-minute wait if you go during the day for some of these rides. So, I don't know. There's something to be said about the atmosphere, about wandering around Magic Kingdom at night with a reduced number of people, and the people watching is amazing. The people go all out with the costumes, and that's always a lot of fun to see. But I don't know, I remember in years gone past spending a lot less money and getting a lot more out of the Halloween experience.
Yeah, I went to a Halloween party, I think it was in 2017, because I had moved by 2018. But it was like $160, maybe less, because I was a cast member. And there was so much more to do. They had the Hocus Pocus stage show and fireworks and a parade and the Headless Horseman, plus candy and low waits and meet and greets. And yeah, with the price, it's
hard to justify.
Yeah, it's not worth it for me. But if you're going and having a great time, I'm very happy for you.
More power to you.
Six Flags Over Texas has announced Pirates of Speelunker Cave, set to debut in 2022, calling back to a classic attraction from the park's history. I'm pretty excited about this one, and this was like over by me, kind of.
This really surprised me, because when I think of Six Flags, I think of big iron rides, roller coasters. Occasionally, they'll get a dark ride from Sally, a shooting ride like the Justice League rides. But for them to do a boat ride with animatronics, physical sets, digital sets, that's pretty ambitious for a regional park that isn't, a Disney or a Universal.
Yeah, the plot of this attraction is it's a boat ride where guests will be placed in the middle of a pirate treasure hunt that has been foiled by spelunkers. And I love piratey stuff. Walt Disney World's Pirates ride notwithstanding, because that one's just kind of like the Cliff Notes version of the full thing.
Right.
But I'm really excited to see how this turns out. They didn't offer any kind of imagery or concept art other than this logo here if you're watching the video version. So I will definitely be keeping my eye on this one.
Well, this is I don't believe that they're going to be building this ride from the ground up. It looks like it's a retheme of a Yosemite Sam Looney Tunes themed boat ride that they've had for a number of years. So if you go on YouTube, you can probably look up a video of that. But we expect a lot of new theming and all new, like we said, animatronics and sets. So really excited. I'm curious to know what company they're partnering with. Like I said, they've done dark rides with Sally before. This isn't the kind of thing that Six Flags would typically do in-house. So I'm sure they've got a partner on it.
What park just did a pirate retheme with Garner Holt? Was it the one? It's like a European one. It caught on fire.
Oh yes. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
I know, I can't. It's like right there.
Was that part of Europa Park? Was it in Germany?
Yes, I want to say yes.
People are screaming at us who know more than us. But yeah, there was Bavaria, Piraten in Bavaria.
Piraten in Batavia?
Batavia.
Something like that.
Whatever. Oh boy, I'm just embarrassing myself.
Me too, and I paid so much attention when it was happening. But that was a really amazing retheme with great animatronic work, and I think Garner Holt did all of it.
I don't know that this ride's going to have that kind of budget, but we will see.
I can dream. Over at SeaWorld Orlando, we have the full lineup of offerings for the first ever Howl-O-Scream at the park, kicking off on September 10th. And their haunted houses sound awesome, I have to admit.
Yeah. There are only 4 of them.
Yes.
But they are all original themes, and they've all kind of tied in a creative way to the SeaWorld's water theme, and the siren character that they've come up with this year.
Which is very scary looking.
And I also like the way each of the haunted houses also ties in with a scare zone and then also a themed bar. So it kind of gives a little more context and depth to each of the haunted experiences.
Yeah, SeaWorld has really come out of the gate trying to do something different instead of just being like, every other haunt event at a theme park in the area. Giving you kind of a well-rounded experience with the scare zones and the themed experiences inside the bars, which they could be even more immersive. I know the Longshoreman Tavern is supposed to have some kind of encounter with the longshoreman inside.
Yeah, some sort of live entertainment, interactive. So that sounds like a lot of fun. And also, speaking of entertainment, they've got 2 live shows, and I was excited to hear that, again, Patrick Braillard from formerly of Halloween Horror Nights, who was over at Scream and Stream for a while. He's now working for SeaWorld on their Howl-O-Scream.
Oh, wow.
And writing the shows, or at least one of the shows I know he was working on. It'll be great to see his stamp on this event as well.
Oh, I didn't know that he had transitioned to SeaWorld.
Just happened very recently.
Must have just happened.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's very exciting.
He's everywhere. He's going to have his literally because they're still using a lot of the stuff he designed at Universal this year. So he's going to have 3 major Halloween events in this town at the same time that all have his stamp on them. Pretty amazing. I feel
like we're like, you drop this, king.
Yeah.
Here's your crown. One of the stage shows has been announced already, Monster Stomp, with Jack the Ripper in a kind of modern rock style stage show, but the other show is called Siren Song, playing into that evil siren theme, and it sounds scary and lots of dancing and possibly like gore, whenever carnage is used in a show description, I get a little wary, and I have flashbacks to Blenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a classic. It sounds like it's probably going to have some acrobatics, special effect, magic, illusion, and sexy dancing, because you can't have Halloween without sexy dancing.
Yes. There will also be roaming haunts to show you that no part of this park will be safe, including the sirens, the creatures, which makes me think of, there was a scare zone at Busch Gardens Tampa that just involved people in ghillie suits and that would just hide, which was not fun for me.
The one great thing about both Busch Gardens and to a slightly lesser extent SeaWorld is, unlike Universal or Disney, their parks just sort of wander all over with no real organization and lots of wooded paths where you don't really know where you're going, which is perfect for someone to jump out and scare the crud out of you.
Yes. The event will run from 7 p.m. to as late as 2 a.m. on select nights, and tickets are really affordable. They're only like $25. Well, they were $25 for Friday the 13th. You can get combo tickets for SeaWorld Orlando and Busch Gardens Tampa if you want to go to both of those events.
They've been running a lot of specials, so check their website. But
yes.
I think that they're going to get a lot of buzz, especially at this price point. So if you know what night you're going to go, jump on it now.
Yes, definitely do that. Can't wait to see this come to life in just a couple of weeks. Next up, I know we have a lot of news.
Yeah.
The anthem for the 50th anniversary has officially been revealed, called "The Magic is Calling." This song will tie into Disney Enchantment, the Beacons of Magic, icon transformations at all 4 parks. Prepare to hear this song everywhere. We can't play it,
probably
obviously.
Will not be able to escape it. No. It sounds, as the orchestrator talks about in a little behind the scenes clip that they released, it sounds very Disney. It has that undefinable, but you know it when you hear it, Disney theme park sound. I'm very grateful it looks like they went with an adult choir and not a chorus of children like they did for Epcot Forever. That's a big improvement. We'll have to wait for the whole thing to be released to see if it stands in the tradition of I know Wishes, for many people, that's their all-time Disney anthem. Not one of my personal favorites, but we'll see where this one ranks when it finally comes out. I was most excited when this announcement is confirmation that these beacons, these transformation of light in the night for each of the Disney park icons, isn't just going to be simple flipping of the switch, but there's going to be a moment, a musical moment attached to the lighting of each time, which I think will be a lot of fun.
I can't wait to see what those new lights on Spaceship Earth will do. Also, unrelated to this, but they also released a clip of Harmonious this past week, which sounded amazing.
Yeah, while I was in Epcot, I didn't get to see the nighttime show running, obviously, but I did get to see them testing the fountains during the daytime. And they were not as amped up and ridiculous as we'd seen. We'd seen some previous tests that just looked like Niagara Falls. And this looked a little more controlled. I'm not really sure exactly where they're going with it, but it didn't look as just out of ridiculous as some of the other videos I'd seen.
Turn all the fountains on 11
and
point them at wherever Seth
11,
is standing.
Just soaked head to toe. No, stayed dry, perfectly dry.
Well, that's good. We also never thought this was going to come around, but it was, and it is. Space 220 restaurant at Epcot finally has an opening window. Not an opening date. An opening window, and that's mid-September.
So we're talking roughly 1 month from right now. I I don't believe that reservations have opened up yet, and I'm sure when they do, that will be quickly snapped up. But this definitely looks like, pardon the pun, an elevated dining experience for Future World.
Get out of here. Get out.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
For those of you who have forgotten about Space 220, and I wouldn't blame you for it, Space 220 is named as such because it will take guests 220 miles up above the Earth to Centauri Space Station for a delicious prefix meal for lunch or dinner. You'll be able to look out and see space all around you. I saw someone on Twitter fondly refer to it as budget galactic star cruiser.
Honestly, if you can't afford the $5,000 for 2 nights on the Star Cruiser and you want the going up to the spaceship experience, this is definitely going to be a much more affordable alternative to that.
And I will admit, I never thought about it like that, but now I can't stop thinking about it.
I prefer to think of it like Zach Ridley kind of describes in this Instagram post. It is the ultimate expression of the Living Seas hydrolators. I grew up with the Living Seas having the hydrolators that you had to get in before going on the Sea Cab ride, which is long gone, long before it became the Nemo ride. But this is kind of taking that to up into space. So I'm actually, I don't even know what the food's going to be like. I'm excited. I'll just go for drinks and dessert if they'll let me. I just want to ride up in the space elevator.
In the space elevator, that's going to be a bouncing floor for a couple of minutes. Brian asked how many course meals. Depends on when you go. It's 2 courses for lunch and 3 for dinner.
Okay, so it's going to be a fixed menu, so they're not going to let me just go up to get a drink and a dessert.
No, unfortunately not. But keep an eye out. I heard some whisperings on social media that they were starting internal hires for this, even though they posted jobs like a year ago or something. I remember that being big news. But they have not released any reservations yet, so keep an eye on the Disney app, and then book one and let me know how it is. Disney Very Merriest After Hours offerings have been revealed because not only do we start Halloween early, we also prepare for Christmas early.
Yeah.
At least in Orlando.
And I will confess, I am a little confused about what makes this an after hours, how we're defining the different kind of nighttime parties that they're having.
Yeah.
But what I did notice is that this has some offerings that the Halloween parties going on does not. Namely, they brought back the full Christmas parade, and there's going to be special Christmas fireworks. So I think right there probably makes this a better value than the Halloween party right off the bat.
And you're also getting the ride overlays. Jingle Cruise is coming back.
Yay!
You get character sightings in the park, so I would imagine that'd be similar to how they were positioned in high up places.
I'm guessing that's still distanced and not because it's not a character encounter or character greeting. It's just a sighting. Yeah. Sort of like bird watching.
And then Club Tinsel is coming back as well over in Tomorrowland. The only thing I think that makes this after hours beyond the late night operation, because the party goes from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. on some nights, are the complimentary snacks that are a staple of the after hours events. But otherwise, this feels like a very Merry Christmas party to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's definitely comes a lot closer in its lineup to what guests are used to paying for at these hard ticket events.
And there are also a ton of event nights between November and December, and there's also DVC and annual pass discounts. So you can hop on that. I think the discounts are only applicable for November, though. So plan early.
Start your celebrating early.
Yes, and we haven't even gotten Halloween. All right,
Speaking of Halloween.
Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando, we got the full reveal, and it was such a surprise. I was not expecting the whole thing to just get dropped
I actually thought that like maybe every Thursday for the next couple weeks we'd get a little bit more dribbled out, but they finally got tired of holding it back and just shoveled it all out. If you've been reading the speculation maps that go around on social media, there weren't a lot of big surprises. The original mazes this year are really leaning into the tradition and the lore that's built up around the event over the last 30 years. We've got a house dedicated to Cary, Ohio, which has been a setting of a lot of the original houses they've done over the years. We've got one featuring Boris Schuster, which ties into the legendary Truth, which is a kind of an online alternate reality game that they played with the hardcore fans for years. I'm excited about the Pumpkin Lord themed because you can see over my head. I can never do the mirror thing. Yes, that is one of the vintage original pumpkins. So I've always loved the pumpkin theme stuff that they've done at Halloween Horror Nights, and to have a whole house based around it should be awesome. We got to see a little glimpse of the Puppet Theater as one that was built for last year, and they even filmed a promotional clip that went out last year for the Puppet Theater, which sounds really original. And the Tooth Fairy, which we got to see, is returning again. So really strong lineup of original stories. Plus, the IPs that we've already had released: Haunting a Hill House, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Beetlejuice, Bride of Frankenstein, and then one devoted to the icons from the history of Halloween Horror Nights. I think it's a really good balance between, fan favorites, fan service, if you will, for people who have stuck through the event for 30 years, mixed with some new popular IPs that can pull in the general audience. I even got a chance the other day to walk through the park and check out some of the scare zones, which are already up. The Crypt TV one is really neat. There's these stages that are these little vignettes, and I don't know anything about Crypt TV whatsoever. It looks like it's kind of an anthology thing, because there's one thing that's like this mutant spider, and another thing that's like a scary bathroom. But it's kind of fun to see these sets go up, and then everything that's gory or bloody has been wrapped over with tarps so that the kids don't have to look at it. But it's still pretty bizarre just sitting out there. I'm really looking forward to the two scare zones. One is the 30 Fears, which is probably going to be mostly selfie photo ops with the icons, but they've got little stages set up where all the past icons can appear. And then the Hollywood area, they're finally giving Eddie his big break. We've talked about this. Eddie was Jack the Clown's little brother, who was created for the event that was radically changed when September 11th happened. So 20 years since this character was created and then sort of pushed off to the side. He's finally getting his own scare zone. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. The thing that was the real wild card that I didn't expect, I actually thought, I knew we were going to have two live shows. One is a new version of the Fountain Show. The Fountain Show they did a couple years ago was amazing, so I'm really excited for a new version of the Fountain Show. But this new one, Halloween Nightmare Fuel, I had heard rumors that this was going to be a magician, but it turns out that it's Aerialists of the Night, fire performers, and rock electronica music. So I'm not really sure what this is going to be all about, if it's going to have a story, if it's going to be more like, sort of like the Academy of Villains, which is no longer around, or something totally different. So that's the one thing that's still a big question mark for me.
We said the magic words, and Clint appeared out of the fog. It's like Beetlejuice. You say Halloween Horror Nights 3 times, and he appears. Halloween Nightmare Fuel by Mountain Dew. It's neon orange, and it tastes like...
it's a real thing?
Pizza fries. No, that's a joke.
Oh, God. It tastes like pizza fries. Don't put it past them. You can't throw ideas out like that out there. They're going to take them and run with it.
Well, if you see pizza fry flavored Mountain Dew, you know who is responsible. We also got a new tribute store, and it's gorgeous. This,
oh my god, it's amazing.
This image is an in-progress shot, of course, but if you are able to go to the park and check it out, it looks amazing.
It kind of looks a little like Phantom Manor at Disneyland Paris. It's this gorgeous, decaying kind of mansion. It actually looks quite a bit like the facade for the original Scream house way back 20 years ago. But yeah, I can't wait to see what's inside there.
Same. And then our last bit of news before we get to this week's main attraction is kind of more serious. As you know, Disney recently announced that all non-union and salaried cast members have to get vaccinated for COVID-19, and Universal has recently shared their own policies surrounding vaccinations, but they're not going to require team members to get vaccinated.
Yeah, this is it's interesting. You have to tell the company by a certain date whether you are vaccinated or not. But they're not going to fire you for not being vaccinated. They haven't said what they're going to do with this information. I assume that maybe in, positions where people have to work in close contact, that they, if they know someone is medically vulnerable and someone is not vaccinated, that they can maybe separate them. But I think this is a really fine line for them to walk.
Yeah.
They're collecting this medical information, not really saying what's going to be done with it. With the guests, I experienced this personally just a few days ago. At Disney, face masks are mandatory in all indoor locations, and they're enforcing it just like they did before. And guests seem to be complying when I was at Walt Disney World this week. At Universal, it is encouraged that everyone wear masks indoors, but it is not enforced. And I gotta say that, maybe 30% of people were wearing masks around me when I was inside. So, they obviously can't control what their guests do. And I guess now they're also saying that they can't control what their employees do, but I guess at least they're collecting the information.
And they haven't disclosed how they're going to collect it or how team members will be expected to disclose. And they also did the strongly encouraged thing. But they're not facilitating any opportunities to get vaccinated that I know of. And they assume that most team members were vaccinated anyway due to mandates based on where they lived. I believe that was also mentioned in the note that went out to team members. But this is definitely a choice, an interesting choice.
I think every company is trying to walk a very fine line between two very diametrically opposed groups without pissing either of them off.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's I don't have a good solution, but I'm not sure that this is we'll see how this works out for them. We might be back here in a few weeks and talking about this again. So we'll see.
Yes, we are not professionals in that regard.
And honestly, this situation is so fluid. Depending on what happens with the Delta variant or maybe the Lambda variant after that, this could all change by the time we talk about this next time.
Yep. But keep an eye out. If you're a team member and you have to disclose your information, just do what you got to do, I suppose.
Well, and if you're a guest at the park, like I am, those masks are strongly, strongly encouraged.
Yes. All right, before we get to this week's main attraction, let's have a quick word from our sponsor.
Here at Destinations with Character Travel, we offer the best experience with your travels. Need to visit the thrilling Disneyland Resort, Walt Disney World? Maybe lounge about on a Disney cruise or any other major cruise line? No problem. So if you're looking for a stress and hassle-free vacation, visit us at www.destinationswithcharacter.com. Contact us today and let us plan a magical vacation for you and your family.
It's time for the main attraction!
Now
I know what you're thinking.
I'm thinking that we had so much news.
We did.
We don't. I think we should just skip the main attraction. We don't have time. I think we should just call it a day.
Oh well.
No.
What if I said I had a surprise?
What? A surprise?
Okay, so this is our 100th episode of the Attractions podcast, and I thought we could have a friend drop by.
Yeah.
It's Banksley, everybody, the professor of theme park economics. This is the part where I'm going to insert your entrance music on the audio version.
Do you still have that?
Yes, I do. I have it saved. Clint is upset that Hornets wasn't the main attraction.
Banksley is the only thing that could top Halloween Horror Night.
Always. I mean, always. Hey, Clint.
What? I feel like it's been so long since I've seen your face, Banks.
I know.
It's so good to see you.
So good to see both of you. Oh, it's great to come back here. When you reached out last minute to be like, hey, I didn't even realize y'all were at 100 episodes now. So I was like, heck yeah, 100 episodes. I come back on and say hi.
Yeah. We also, I think the D23 podcast also hit 100 episodes this week, so it's like a big milestone week for
neck
everybody.
and neck. We're gonna have to do a bonus episode just to pull ahead of them.
Yes.
Yes.
But I wanted to just kind of do like a look back, a reminiscence of all of our times on the podcast so far, all of the shenanigans we've managed to get into, and see if there were any moments that specifically stuck out in your head during your tenure with us.
Man, first off, I can't even believe it's been over a year since I was last on the hosting the podcast. It's been such a fast, quick year, but amazing as well. Like, so much has happened. Just the geeking out. Honestly, it's probably what I missed the most.
Yeah,
it's just the weekly Mandalorian talk, or we never even got a chance to do all the Marvel stuff. Man, that would have been. Oh, the geeking out, just chit-chatting about all that stuff, and talking about the latest trailer and crying over the Star Wars trailer before we cried over what ended up being the movie.
Embarrassing.
So, but yeah, just those moments stick out to me, and I love podcasts. Like I listen to them religiously. I have so many podcasts that I listen to on rotation because my drive it's an hour each way to work. So I pop podcasts in. I can listen to an episode on the way there, on an episode on the way back. It's podcasts have been a big part of my life for many years. And then when Mike and Dee Dee started the Expansion Drive podcast several years ago, and getting to be a guest on that one. I was like, man, I want to record more podcasts. And then Matt asked us to do this one and start this one up. And that was so much fun to do, and a lot of research as well. Like, people don't realize how much research does go into recording each episode.
And then learning how to...
Brittany does all that research. I just show up. 100%.
Well, I mean, Brittany already writes the majority of the stories anyway, so it's already fresh in her mind.
Yeah, and then learning how to do all of the things back here, because it looks like we're just sitting here, but while we're talking, I'm setting up the transitions. And
the 1 week when Brittany was away and I hosted it with Matt, and I was the one running the StreamYard behind the scenes. Oh my god, I was like a monkey just slapping at buttons. Every time I tried to put up someone's comment or switch to a camera, I messed it up. And she makes it look so smooth. It's not that easy.
Yeah, once you get used to StreamYard, it's pretty simple. But I remember teaching Brittany how to do it, and then I was just like, "All right, I'm done. Bye. Your problem now."
That's exactly how it went. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's been such a whirlwind, and then doing when we first started the podcast, it was like a learning experience for both Banks and I. And then having you step in and take it over, it's like a totally different dynamic, but it's equally as fun and goofy and silly and fangirly. It's been so much fun.
It's fun to chat about news and talk about what you think about things, and that's one of the things I love about podcasts is just being able to give your own opinion and just talk what's on your mind. Like it's a great way to get things off your chest sometimes.
Also, no joke, during the pandemic, this was one of the few social interactions I had outside of my own house. Kept me sane.
I might talk to Brittany more than I talk to my mom. That's possible.
I'm sorry, Seth's mom. If
you're watching, Mom, I love you, and I'll see you soon.
Oh my goodness.
But how are you two doing? I don't get to see y'all that much anymore.
Well, I'm looking forward, hopefully, to seeing you this week coming up.
Yeah, there's some fun things coming up this week. I definitely will probably be seeing you at.
Yeah. Are we allowed to say anything about?
I don't know.
When I asked Banks to come on, I specifically said Banksley the person and not Banksley the representative.
Okay, fair enough. So no shilling. All right. Well, we'll talk all about the other side of Banksley next week when you're not around, after I take my very exciting hard hat tour of the upcoming Peppa Pig theme park, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, there's things happening. Everyone will see some fun behind the wall stuff coming out from our media friends this week for sure. So we're very excited to put that on and have you out there.
Yes.
I'm excited to get back down to Orlando. Josh has been trying to talk me into coming down. He wants to do a Horror Nights trip. He has some documentaries, last-minute things he has to shoot.
Yes.
But with...
he doesn't really need to shoot anything. He just wants to go to Horror Nights.
No, that's exactly what it is. But I'm a little wary of, with all the COVID stuff happening, as to whether or not I'll do it. But maybe...
I will say, seeing what was going on I don't know if y'all talked about it at the top of the show, but seeing what was happening today with Rise of the Resistance blew my freaking mind.
No, I haven't.
Did you not see? Okay,
no,
so
I'm sorry.
The Rise of the Resistance, you know how they do two boarding groups, like one at 7 a.m. and then one at 1 p.m. if you miss the 7 a.m. one.
Yeah.
As of 6:30 or so, they were still accepting people to join the boarding groups. Distribution ended at 7 p.m. But after 7 p.m., they were letting anyone without a boarding group go into standby, and by 8:30, it was a walk-on.
What year is this?
Well, I will say that the numbers that I've seen, wait times at Magic Kingdom and across, I guess, Walt Disney World have been exceptionally low the last couple days, but I didn't realize they were that low. I gotta see if I can get a park reservation tomorrow for Hollywood Studios.
I mean, who knows if it's going to happen in the second day in a row, but that's literally what was happening today. And you said it earlier, it might be because a lot of the local schools are back in, so it's a school night.
That's amazing. Okay, well, we shouldn't have talked about this. I'm going to have to get out there tomorrow before this episode is out.
And for those wondering where I saw this was from Scott Gustin on Twitter, so very reliable source.
Okay, all right.
I should have...
I was a typing cat all day, and I did not look at Twitter, so...
We were having storms
Shame
on
me.
and off all day, so I was not paying attention to the internet. But this is what I get. Things happen when I'm not constantly online.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so hopefully this is a good sign that if they're opening up standby at 7 and then was a walk on by 8:30, that this is actually really a good people eater attraction, and maybe they can start phasing out boarding groups.
That they must have they must have brought more RVs online, or something must have been fixed that's been broken for a long time or something, because that's a huge change.
There's no way that the park was
I'm gonna have
to
look at some numbers on that. That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to know more.
Yeah.
But yeah, like happy to let you know that. Awesome info.
Oh, yay.
Well, yeah,
that made me happy.
You were present on my first time trying to get a boarding group.
That
was
the quick like, and then you hear people like cheering in the background,
stressful.
And
oh my god, anxiety.
Then people cursing their phones.
If you want to listen to all of that anxiousness and have like a simulated boarding group experience, there is an episode. I think it's around like the 40 or 50 mark.
It was definitely in the 30s or 40s. It was, I believe it was before I left attractions.
Yes, because
if this is 100, then yeah, it was probably in the 40s or 30s, somewhere around there.
But that was...
Just listen to them all in order from the beginning. And
gosh. How many hours?
You got to get caught up.
Well, that's not true, because there have definitely been some bonus episodes that are very long.
Yeah, I think we've done a few of those, like, you know, talking about movies and things like that.
Yeah. But, man, 100 episodes. That's
Here's 200 more.
All right, we're going to do this again at 200, right?
Yes.
All right.
Banks will come back on. We'll have like a whole Zoom call party.
And then we'll finally talk about getting ready to ride Guardians and Tron before they open up.
See, you've said that, and now you've jinxed us, and
I think we'll still be waiting for those when we hit 200.
Gosh. Oh.
Banks, thank you so much for coming to say hi to everyone.
So good seeing you.
Surprising all the listeners.
Miss everyone's faces, but yes, Seth, I will see you in person very soon.
See you soon.
Brittany, get your butt down here.
Yes, as soon as it is safe and I can allow myself the chance to go, I totally will. Maybe next time there's like a big Marvel movie like Spider-Man, we could have you on to geek out about it.
Did you get an invite in the mail, by the way, from me and Sydney?
Yes, I did. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes.
Let
me know if you can make it. We would love to have you there.
Yes. Well, I will be sending that back to you. Totally spaced.
All good. I know everything. A lot's going on in your life.
You just totally called her out.
Yeah, you did.
Live on the stream. Could have saved it for afterwards.
That's okay. I have control over the final audio.
You snip that out.
Yeah, just.
But it lives forever on our YouTube channel.
Oh no, you can edit that out on YouTube as well. It's very
I
easy.
have. Seth underestimates my power. Oh man. Would you like to stay for our little closing bits as well?
Yeah,
Help us say goodbye.
Oh yay!
Okay.
You can hear us try to smoothly segue.
Oh my goodness.
It gets worse and worse each time.
Yes, every time. We always fall apart, usually after the listener thank yous, which I will get into right now.
But you edited our text document, so I should be able to follow along.
I did edit it this week.
There's a prompter.
Yes. I have one listener thank you to share this week, and in case you did not know, Attractions Magazine has a 4-tier subscription service, and if you pick the club or VIP tiers the week after you subscribe, you get a shout out on the Attractions podcast. And this week we are thanking Matthew Kennedy so very much for being a club and or VIP subscriber.
Thank you.
And if you want to support us even further, you can check out our summer issue, available now in the Attractions Magazine store at attractionsmagazine.com/store. And you can pick it up in either a print or digital subscription option as well. And our fall issue is coming soon.
Yes, and we, of course, want to thank one more time our sponsor, Destinations with Character Travel. And please, everyone, as soon as you are done watching this, take a deep breath to recover, and then head straight on over to Apple Podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star rating, leave us a review, help share the good word about Attractions Magazine and our podcast with the whole wide world. And if you want to keep up with us on the interwebs throughout the week, you can find me at theunofficialguides.com. or on Twitter at the UG Series, or at the Unofficial Guides on Instagram. And Brittany, where can they find you?
They can find me at Brittany Tuttle. That's BrittaniTuttle. Yes, it's spelled funny on Twitter and Instagram, but also every day at attractionsmagazine.com. At Attractions on Twitter, at Attractions Magazine on Instagram, and youtube.com/attractionsmagazine, where you've been hanging out with us for the past hour and some change, along with Banks Lee, where you can find him at...
You can find me on Twitter at Banks Lee and on Instagram at Disney Goofball.
And until next week, I hope you guys stay safe, try something new, but most importantly...
Seth?
We did me.
We can do me again, but it will just be an endless circle. They all know where to find me already.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there.
It's right there. Have fun, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.